All right, welcome back once again. This is your host, your casting host, Beef, bringing you another one of these replays from Assembly Winter 2012, coming out of Finland. I really should check that. They keep saying that, and I don't think I've checked it yet, but I'm pretty sure that's where that's from. We'll go ahead and get this game started for you. And today we are bringing you a PVZ. And this is one of my favorite matchups to watch, so I think this will be a lot of fun. And all right, let's get these introductions going. In the top right-hand corner of Daybreak, we do have the ace of Team Millennium, a French Zerg who coincidentally plays for Team USA. He is Stephano. And in the bottom left, we do have a recent Korean addition to an American team, Team Evil Geniuses. He is their star and the repeat winner of the North American Star League. He is Puma. Alright, so as I'd mentioned, we're on Cloud Kingdom here, and this is a 1v1 map, so nothing like scouting right across, making sure that you can figure it out where your opponent is right away, get a read on what they're doing, and plan accordingly. And so Stephano, nothing weird yet, getting his Overlord at 10 instead of 9. Is a little bit odd. 9's a little bit faster. Stephano might have just made an accidental drone, and he actually did extractor trick there. So we see Puma's worker here getting ready to throw down that barracks, and Stephano's actually going to be putting a little bit of harassment. And instead of actually putting it, waiting for the correct spot to come up, Puma just drops it immediately. He wants to get that barracks up with as little delay as possible, and it's no worry for him to go ahead and move that later. But Stephano's drone is actually doing a lot more damage than it should have here, and I think if he had attacked twice there, that he might have actually gotten that kill if Puma didn't pull that away right away. So not a big deal. We do see a gas coming out of Puma at the 13 supply mark, so that would be relatively standard for a reactored fast expand. Reactored Hellion fast expand, excuse me. And we do see Stephano over here actually taking his hatchery at 15 supply, and so that's a relatively greedy opening for Zerg, but it's okay because Stephano did manage to get that scout off. He saw the barracks timing, and he was able to actually delay it by quite a bit. We'll see the reactor tech lab plopping down right now, and that's a little bit interesting because okay, Puma asking for a pause, nothing going on there. But Stephano did end up making it back up there, and he was able to see the tech lab building. So as long as he got wind of that, he's going to know that there's most likely going to be a Reaper coming out. And there's the Reaper. So yeah, we actually did see the gas up a little bit earlier. I think it might have actually come up at about the same time. But I wonder if Puma did alter this build a little bit because he was going to get that barracks up later. He wasn't going to be able to get any scouting information or hold any map control with reactored Hellion, so we do see Reaper, most likely into a Reaper expand. There goes the command center right there. And so we'll see how Stephano goes ahead and deals with this. He is mining gas already, and so we do see that he's up to 32, and I'll expect Zergling speed with the initial here. And Overlord does come in there, and he should have scouted that there was an expansion. There he does. And he does even see the Reaper as well. So immediately he's probably going to make a response to this, going to check for any kind of locations where that Reaper might be jumping up and send Zerglings. That's exactly what he does. Stephano's he's no slouch. He knows exactly what's going on. He's going to take advantage of the situation. But, yeah. In the meantime, though, Stephano does actually hit a pretty hard supply block at it here at 28. The Reaper going to go right up into the waiting clutches of the Zerglings. Beautiful play there by Stephano, making sure that that Reaper is going to see absolutely nothing. So if we take a look at Puma's vision here, all he sees is that expansion. He hasn't seen in the base. He doesn't know what the gas situation is because those Zerglings didn't even have speed. He doesn't know. Maybe Stephano is going to be going really greedy with his gas. And so overall, that's just not an ideal situation. Puma does actually follow this up now with reactored Hellions. So we're going to get the reactored Hellions out there. They're going to be able to provide some map control. And behind this, he actually takes a third command center. So going for a very heavy economic opening and he's going to try to deny the third to Stephano for as long as possible while he can get his own command center up. And then once Stephano actually finally is able to take that third, then Puma will be able to take his and stay on relatively even economic basis. But Stephano, with Zergling speed coming in right now, he's watching with this Overlord, and he says, hey, there's no bunker down there that I can see. We're going to send this Zergling in and see what it has to see. But, hey, there's only one Marine there. Nitrous is about to kick in on these Zerglings, and it's about to be a party. So I do not see Puma defending this right now. All he has is one Marine and two Hellions coming out. The gate does come up, but he's going to have to lift that orbital, and he's going to have to abandon ship because there's absolutely no way that he's going to be able to save that with the army that he has. Stephano playing a little bit indecisively up there, trying to get up that ramp, but those two Hellions are going to be able to keep that off, and nice job coming back in with the Hellions from behind. Going to actually making sure that he's not able to take any damage on those Hellions, having the Hellions and the Marine support from the high ground. That's a beautiful play, and it was a very good defense by Puma. A lot of Terrans would not have been able to hold that off. But in the meantime, we do see Stephano going ahead, and he's going to take his third behind that. He's actually starting level 1 ground armor, and I would expect to see Lair coming up with his next 100 minerals, or gas. He's actually still staying on only 1 gas, so nothing too tech-oriented here, but that +1 armor is going to be very useful for mitigating damage from Marines. Double engineering bay coming behind the third orbital with still only 6 Hellions, 5 Hellions, and 2 Marines. Those are the only defensive units here for Puma, and he's on 1 barracks, 1 factory, with 3 command centers and double upgrades. This is so greedy. If Stephano were able to see this, if he had an overlord over here that he was able to peek into the base, he would say, holy crap, I could kill you so easily. But unfortunately, he's not able to get any good scouting information off, and he's only able to see what Puma wants him to see. See if this overlord is able to spot the bunker. He sees the bunker going down and the gas. He doesn't know the situation on this gas over here, or even this gas. So as far as Stephano knows, this could be some kind of mind tricks coming out. Like I said, double upgrades coming out for Puma along with Combat Shield and Starport. Going to be starting that medevac play. Second Evolution Chamber coming out with the +1 ground upgrades in addition to 4 gases. So going by Stephano style, I'm going to say this will probably be heavily upgraded Lings with Infestors. That is how Stephano likes to play this. Puma down here just making sure that there's no kinds of hidden forts or anything like that. He's not even aware of the third right now, I don't believe. Yeah, he hasn't even seen the third. But nice creep spread coming out in the direction that you really need to spread the creep right now. The Zerglings on creep are going to be able to contend fairly well with these Hellions, and something important to point out right now is that Stephano has been using his idle time with his Lings to try to get these rocks down. Zerg's worst enemy is trying to engage a Terran army inside of Choke. And nice surround coming in here from Stephano, still on creep, going to be able to get those speed bonuses. Picks off 1 Hellion, he's going to be able to get at least 1 more here. There goes 1, 2, and not getting that second one. There you go. And these last 3 Hellions, very nice job kiting, getting some good angles on those Hellion shots. That last one is going to be getting chased down by these Zerglings eventually. Yeah, there you go. And with that, Stephano's going to be able to see that there's a little bit of a gap there in the wall, but there's a bunker. He doesn't know how many Marines are in that, so no use in pressing in right now. But back home, we do see Blue Flame actually completing right now. Very nice upgrade. They're going to be able to deal with this Ling pressure quite efficiently. And the first medevac's coming out as well. So look for drops. We're going to be able to see some drops. And if not drops, we're going to be able to see just some healing coming up from all the stims that Marines are going to be laying down. But here comes the drop, probably going to come up over here. And we'll see if it can land in the third base. There is going to be 1 Overlord here. Not going to spot that. But this Overlord right here is right in that drop ship's path. So we'll see that in a moment. Hellion actually revealing Blue Flame right there, so we'll see how Stephano chooses to react. He has dropped down an Infestation Pit like we predicted, and started +2 ground armor, in addition to a Roach Warren. So, Blue Flame Hellions, Roaches, Stephano started that even before he saw the Blue Flame. So, not bad. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, Stephano getting his third all the way saturated, has taken his gases, just putting drones into them right now. Very nice technique. Stuck 6 drones, puts them all into this one, and then shifts off 3 of them. If you shift click, there's the drop. He was trying to get that Overlord that was in his path. Stephano spots it immediately, saves the Overlord, even manages to put some damage onto those units. A couple of them in the orange and the yellow there, and he's going to just make sure that this, this drone is coming over here to take an expansion. Alright, so kind of a hidden 4th expansion there. He wants to prevent that dropship from seeing that. But back home, Stephano has started roach production in earnest, along with a couple of infestors. Doesn't have burrow yet, which is kind of odd for Stephano, but Puma is moving across the map right here. He has 1-1, 2-2 is 3/4 of the way done, in addition to vehicle weapons, but there is a nice round coming up on all these units, and I think he's going to have to pick up. Yeah, there he goes. And so we'll see if these infestors are able to catch up, maybe land some fungals there, but that's an overwhelming army from Stephano, plus 2 1-lings with heavy armor in addition to a roach backbone. Without some bunker support, I don't see Puma making a hold right here. The siege tank is a little bit too far back, I would think. Yeah, he's going to be able to cut around in this direction and really get in there. Infested Terran's going to provide covering fire for the Zerglings to move in, trying to draw some of that siege tank fire. Blue Flame is going to be very effective, but these Zerglings are really melting through the army of the Terran right now. No fungals going down just yet, but that third is forced to evacuate. At the same time, we do have a drop coming into the main of Puma, so we'll monitor that. Drop coming into the natural as well. Excellent multitasking of Puma to be able to take care of both of those things at the same time, and it is started by Stephano, and he is going to be having to retreat some of his army to deal with that. Actually, he has Zerglings at home to deal with that there, but this drop is not being handled quite yet. Zerglings coming back down from the main after defending that drop, but only losing 1 Marine. And he is even going to drop that into the third. Zerglings coming back down once again, but Zerglings not very effective against upgraded Marines. Stimmed upgraded Marines down here. Going to be highly effective against Zerglings when they're back into the corner. Very nice positioning from Puma. And even though it's 2-2 against 2-2, those Marines are so cost effective when they've got a medevac, when they're backed into a corner, minimizing the surface area that the Zerglings are able to attack. And look at this elevator play, just hopping up and down, almost like a Reaper, up and down this cliff, just making sure that Stephano has to send all of his things all the way around. I think that's going to be the end of the drop play right now, and we do have a large army moving out, but it's heavily damaged. The bio is heavily damaged, and the medevacs are actually going to the wrong location. They're rallied over there. He needs to have them with his army to get that army healed up. But he spots the fourth up here, and the Zerglings are on the creep highward. They are moving. They're kicked in top gear. Siege tank's in a nice position right here. They're kind of exposed. The Roaches are going to be able to put some damage into one of the siege tanks, but not able to take it out. And that fourth base is forfeit. Even got some Zerglings coming out that are going to get cleaned up. No cancel on that. Not a big deal. But Stephano being held to 3 bases against a 3-base Terran. Puma's just reestablished that, but we do have a major thing run by coming up. But the siege tank is going to get up at the same time as this bioforce is going to come over. There's a big fight going up here. A couple of fungals, nice fungals onto that bio army, even getting the medevacs in there, making sure to put as much damage as possible onto them. And Stephano is going to be able to clean this up. Saves 1 siege tank, but that is the only part of that ground army that he saves. Back home, Hive Tech has been completed for Stephano. He is starting +3 melee attacks in addition to adrenal glands and now ground attacks as well. +1 ground weapons starting for our Terran player. But will we see an Ultralisk Cavern? That's what I would expect off of this. Stephano at this time, about 3 months ago, really did favor his Ultralisk tech. And we don't see a Spire down yet. Excuse me. Yeah, no Spire down yet, and with those heavy melee upgrades, the Ultras are going to benefit from those in addition to the Lings. So I would expect an Ultralisk Cavern to come down, or he might even stick on Infestor Ling for just a little while longer. Fortunately for Puma, he does have a decent number of Marauders to deal with any kind of Ultralisk, and they are also exceptionally good at dealing with Infestors. Marauders actually will 4-shot an Infestor unupgraded, and 3-shot an Infestor when 3-3'd. Believe. I think so. I know that they 3-shot him at some upgrade point, but I'm not sure if that's against unupgraded Infestor's armor or what. So we do see a +1, +2, not really able to afford it at this point. That is heavy gas, not really able to afford that commitment. And the Ultralisk Cavern did get dropped. Where is it? It's probably at the 3rd. Where is it? I have absolutely no clue. This 4th being taken out again. We did actually see another drop take out the 4th up there, and Puma doing an excellent job of restricting Stephano to the 4th. I have no clue where this Ultralisk Cavern is. Another main drop coming in here to the main. Let's see if Stephano's able to clean this up. Zerglings having to come all the way down from the 4th to really clean that up. That's not going to be enough Zerglings, but Puma instead chooses to go ahead and elevator back down. We do see macro hatches at multiple locations here. We got 1 in the main and 1 at the 3rd. So operating off of a total of 5 hatcheries, even though he's on 3 mining bases right now. And these Marines, like I said, Marines with heavy upgrades with the support of a medevac are really, really cost effective. And right there, he was able to just do so much damage. Oh, look at this, though. So many Zerglings. There are so many Zerglings, and there's only 4 siege tanks back here, in addition to 14 infestors. If he gets those burrowed and there's no scan picked up, they can do a ton of damage with their infested Terran, lobbing them on, letting friendly fire do the work. But we'll see how this engagement turns up right here. 4 Ultralisks in production, plus 3 about to finish. 4 Terran infantry weapons. That's going to be putting out a ton of damage. 4th Command Center is being started by Puma. Stephano expanding once again in this top left-hand location. Drop is cleaned up without dropping a single unit out of that. He did lose a Marine down here, so that was a 7 Marine dropship. But Stephano looks to be in a relatively decent position. His army, I would say that oh man, that was brutal. He did end up just losing quite a few infestors right there, down to only 11 infestors in total, and 2 of those were brand new, so it looks like he lost 5 infestors there. Not exactly what you want to happen, but Stephano, I don't know. I would say that his army is stronger. If he gets a favorable engagement, I think that he's going to be able to get a really favorable engagement. If it goes a little bit his way, it's going to go a lot his way. But with Puma really controlling the high ground up here with 8 tanks and an extremely heavy Marauder force. Marines and Marauders actually coming up here to the 4th, try to see if they can do that. There's too many Zerglings to be able to take care of that. But Ultralisks are just going to melt to this siege tank force, and we do see that there was a stem up here trying to get to this 4th base of Stephano, but Puma wisely going to retreat, starting +2 weapons in addition to level 3 armor. And we didn't see the burrow on the infestors earlier because Stephano didn't have it. You know, very interesting, something that you wouldn't see out of Stephano these days. Burrow incorporated well in, but here comes the Ultras crashing in. They're going to be able to butt heads against these siege tanks, taking them out very quickly. The Fungals are hitting almost everything, getting all those medevacs. Zerglings coming out in for the flank, and like I said, if he gets a good engagement, he's going to get a very good engagement. Ultras be able to clean up the brunt of that in addition to medevacs. Infested Terran going to clean up every single unit. And so we do see Puma down to just 59 SCVs. Not a whole lot of SCVs, and then in addition to that, 8 Marauders, 7 Marines, a siege tank, and 6 medevacs. That's it. His fighting army so reduced against infestors that actually just got cleaned up. Where did the infestors get cleaned up? I didn't even see that. It looks like maybe right around there, but down to 5 infestors in total. He's just reproducing. A couple of Ultralisks, but 3/3 adrenal gland upgraded Zerglings do so much damage. We'll see if he's able to defend this 3rd and keep himself into the game. The Zerglings not really able to get very much surface area on this bio army. The Ultras not even able to get in there and do their splash damage. And it looks like Puma is going to hold this. He's going to lose a large amount of his army and quite a few SCVs, but he will hold this. With no infestor support, Ultralist Zergling is not that effective against bio, even if the bio is in small numbers. Yeah, if they're just able to get in there, reduce that surface area, melee attacking units, not that effective. He really needed those infestors, but the infestors are being chased down by these Marauders right now, and look at that. Just like I said, Marauders so effective against infestors. You don't want to have to waste the energy on things like fungal growth, but if you waste that energy on something like 3 Marauders and you're able to save the life of an infestor, that's actually better. Wasting that 1 infestor, fungal growth, that's going to come back. Infestor, not going to come up from the ground. We're not dealing with zombies there just yet. We'll see at Heart of the Swarm. But Stephano finally being able to get his 4th and 5th base up, not fully saturating either one of them. His main is mined out, so he was able to transfer drones, but he is not... Oh, nice pickup on this drop right here. But once again, look at these Marauders. They're able to get out, be able to pick up one of the infestors, and almost even gets a second one, and the dropship almost gets away. Not quite. Another dropship coming up here to the 5th in the 11 o'clock position. I do not see Stephano cleaning that up. Even with that amount of Zerglings, I just don't think if he gets a favorable unload in a favorable position, he can clean up that amount of Zerglings easily. So we'll go ahead and take a look here. He's able to get his back to a wall, minimizing that surface area, and not quite. Actually, those Zerglings just proving a little bit too effective. But yeah, 3/3 Zerglings able to do very well. We do see double Spire coming out right now. That's indicative of a player that wants to transition into heavy Broodlord play, be able to get double upgrades, start upgrading one of the things, whether it's attack or armor, while the other one morphs into a greater Spire. Another drop down here as he's trying to move out and take that 4th base. Well, we do have some burrowed infestors over here. No detection, no units really in range, but he unburrows them. Unburrows them, goes for fungals instead of infested Terran play. with 3 fungals, he's able to get so many SCVs. The medevacs do come in and they are able to clean up a little bit, but forcing a lift off on this command center drops a couple infested Terran under them just to make sure that they're not able to land right away, put a little bit of damage into them. And you can actually see that infested Terran are very powerful, even when they're not upgraded. Once they're upgraded all the way, 11 damage with 0.86 attack speed. That's the same as a Marine, but they do 3 more damage base than a Marine. 3? 2. 2 or 3 more damage base than a Marine. They do a lot of damage. They're really strong. Mining out now on his main, able to transfer drones to both of these other bases. Another drop coming into 2 different locations, the 4th and the 5th, as the main army is moving out to try to distract here in the middle. Dropping a couple more infested Terrans, going to be doing a little bit of damage there. Stemming into both of these buildings, going to be focusing down the hatchery with the Marauder force, going to be focusing down the army with the Marine force. Wise move there, but that is going to be cleaned up very effectively by Stephano in the bottom right. However, in the top left, he's not going to be able to take care of that. The Marines aren't going to be able to focus fire down that hatchery in time before the army gets here. I would instead advise a scan and be able to clean up most of those drones. But yeah, he's not actually going to be able to make anything happen here. The drones are going to come back and start mining just as the army gets here. And I really think he should have scanned and taken out those burrow drones. Another one of these dropships coming over here scanning to make sure where the army is. But he's going to cut this off and that hatchery is going down. Beautiful play here from our Terran player. And give me 1 second really quick. Okay, I was just making sure that my microphone was on. I got a little bit worried that it was off for a second. Sorry about that. Hope I didn't miss anything too important. Another dropship moving up here. But the Terran player actually doing an excellent job with Stephano holding both of these bases on such far corners of the map. He's doing a job of making sure that Stephano is having to spread his army very, very thin. Stephano taking the 6th base right here at the same time that Puma takes his 4th. Surprised that he hasn't morphed this into a planetary yet. That would go a long way towards helping him maintain superiority. And he's actually dropping right on top of all these vulnerable tier 3 units. Another drop coming up here into the top left. Once again, forcing Stephano to try to change his forces, but he is trying to focus down that greater spire. I don't think he's going to be able to get it. Will he get it? Oh, he gets it with the very last shot. That is a huge blow to Stephano. These Broodlords right here, the 11 Broodlords that you see right here are the only Broodlords that you're going to see for a while. That Greater Spire does take a very long time to morph, and that's going to buy Puma the time that he needs to pump out those Vikings 2 at a time. Once that Greater Spire or Greater Flyer Carapace does finish up, you will see the 2nd Spire start to morph, but taking out the 4th and 5th bases, leaving Stephano on only 1 mining base at this time. He really can't afford things like building that Greater Spire again. He's got this bank, but he's trying to save that for Broodlords. And every second that goes by, Puma is going to be building more and more Vikings. Fortunately, Puma is actually really, really low on resources and hasn't been able to effectively start mining from that base. Drop coming in here into the only last mining base from Stephano. Drones pull off the line. 1 siege tank going down right there. A lot of infested Terran dropped for 1 siege tank. You can't really afford all those fungals right now to be used on that siege tank. You had to drop infested Terran there and fungals, but here comes the engagement. Beautiful fungals go down on the Marines. The Ultralists are going to make it in there. The Corruptors focus firing down onto those medevacs, and the Broodlord's going to come in and clean up the rest of the bio army, and I do not think that Puma is going to be able to come back from this. He's got such a paltry force left. Right now, it's looking like going to be 22 Marines and a couple of Marauders, a couple of Vikings, and a medevac versus this entire army. Look at this. 11 Broodlords, 2 Ultralists, 7 Corruptors, 11 Infestors, and some Zerglings to clean up the nearly maxed Zerg army, fully upgraded. I just do not see Puma coming back from this. And it looks like Stephano is making his way with his rather slow Broodlords down to this army. Corruptor's putting a little bit of damage in this command center that was never morphed into anything. I wonder if Puma just could never really afford it. The Marine's going to be stimming into the Broodlords right now. The Broodlords a little bit on attack move, a little bit too long. They're able to focus fire down 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe even a 6th one. But there comes the GG out of Puma, and it looks like Stephano takes game 1 here on Cloud Kingdom. Well, once again, I've been Beef, and thanks for watching. Remember, these are still my first casts. I only started casting about 3 days ago, so if you're watching this video on YouTube, please do make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and make sure to leave me anything that you think is going to help me be a better caster, because I'm doing this for you guys too. I'm having fun with it, but I want to do the best job that I can. So if you think that there's something that I need to work on, leave it for me, and I'm going to be very happy to look at those comments and see what I can improve on. Once again, thank you for watching, and we'll be right back.